All right, 20 minutes before 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. We may get a call while we're talking. I don't know. We had a little bit of a phone issue right there with our next guest. But I wanted to tell you about what they were calling in about. I think this is a pretty important topic, especially considering that it's Veterans Day on Sunday. This might be our guest right now. I don't know. But we're not going to be able to talk off the air. We're going straight to the air, whoever's on the phone. Good morning. Is this Major James Caper Jr. or Ashley Cusado? Hello?
Major Jim Capers.
Hey.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Major. It's an honor to have you on our show. I'm sorry I didn't have a chance to properly introduce you, so allow me to do that. Is Ashley Cusado with you?
She is not, no.
She's not?
She's in the building.
Okay,
She'll
so
be in just a second.
So it's just you right now, right?
Yes.
I was looking at the information regarding what this documentary is about, and you are a true hero, sir. First of all, thank you for your service. Can I read for the audience just so they know who we're talking to?
Certainly.
Major James Capers Jr. If you go to Amazon, there's a book, and although we're not really talking about the book, we're talking about a documentary, but listen to what it says. I just wanted to read what it says on the Amazon page. It says, "This is a book about war, a war against America's enemies, against racism, against the loss of fellow warriors in battle, and against the personal loss of family back home. This is the story of Major James Capers Jr., retired from the United States Marine Corps. Jim was born to a family of sharecroppers in South Carolina who escaped to Baltimore in the dead of night to escape the days of Jim Crow laws for a better life. Joining the Marines, fresh out of high school, Jim had no idea that he was paving the road for future Marines, black and white alike, the first African-American Marine to receive a battlefield commission as a member of a 3rd Force Recon, a new special forces unit designed specifically for the war in Vietnam, the first African-American Marine officer used on a Marine recruitment poster, co-leader of the first Special Forces team to attempt the rescue of American and Allied prisoners of war held in a North Vietnamese prison, a leader in Team Broad-Minded, whose missions were so secret their military records from Vietnam were not declassified until 2006. Nominated for the Medal of Honor, inducted into the Commando Hall of Honor for Special Forces, awarded the Bronze and Silver Stars. This book is about a man who is a true American hero, and it goes on from there. That's probably one of the longest intros I've ever done, but if the audience didn't know all that, then I wanted to make sure we started with all of that. So, and I know you're getting ready to do a TV interview, so thank you so much for taking your time to talk to us today.
Oh, certainly. I'm impressed with your ability to put all this together.
Oh, well, thank you, sir. That's kind of what Robin and I do. Where are you right now?
I'm in the green room.
where are you in New York, or where are you? What city?
Oh, no. I'm here in Washington, D.C.
In Washington, D.C., okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are you getting ready to go on a show that we can watch down here in Florida?
I'm not sure. You
okay.
know, they just sort of guide me around and say, go here and go there, and I'm used to following orders. So I don't know if this is being broadcast in Florida or not. Where are you, sir?
We're in Ocala, Florida, north of Orlando.
Okay. I don't know if we are being broadcast there or not. We were brought into the TV station this morning, and I've done a couple of interviews, and but I would hope that you would be able to see it.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see it as well. So tell me, how did this happen for you? It sounds like you went through hell and came back, and came out with flying colors. How did the attention of the people who write books and make movies, how did that happen?
Well, nobody ever comes out of this with flying colors. You know, a lot of our soldiers come home with PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress. They come home to a country that doesn't appreciate their sacrifices.
Right.
You know, because they never had to serve, and these kids come home and They didn't get to see the Super Bowl, didn't get to see the World Series. These are men and women who make those sacrifices. They serve long tours and they come home, and sometimes the public does not understand nor appreciate the sacrifices that they made. Just for instance, during the Vietnam era, my era, we lost 55,000 soldiers and airmen and sailors. And the total for our war on terror is 7,000. So when you do the comparative analysis between the Vietnam era and our era on terrorism, it tells you something. It jumps out at you. And then even with those numbers, when these young men and women came home, the public said very nasty things.
Mm-hmm.
They threw things at them and did not give them the courtesy, the recognition that they should have had. But now it's better. Our warriors come home and they're greeted at the air stations and people say nice things, and but it's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
But a long ways to go.
Yeah, for all the things we've done wrong, the encouraging thing is that we're starting to realize we did things wrong and maybe stop doing things wrong.
You're a documentary that must have been extremely emotional for you. It has your original recordings, some video, personal video from you, and different photographs.
Yes, what I tried to do was to let my family back home know what I was doing, and we had to write letters. We didn't have the satellites and the method of communication. We didn't have that then, so we wrote letters. And so I had to write to my wife and my family what I was seeing and the effect it was having on me. But then again, I needed to shade some of that. I didn't want them to have PTSD also.
Yeah, right.
So you had to kind of make sure you didn't say everything, because the unit I was in was classified anyway, so I was limited.
How was the documentary filmed? Do we go back in time? Do we get to see some of those things maybe that you kept from other people?
Yeah. You will see things that was not shown in earlier years. And I had some small tape recorders that I taped some things, what I saw. And the frustrations, the emotional, it was very difficult during the war, because we lost young men. And as a commander, I was a NCO, a non-commissioned officer, and we lost all the officers in my unit. And so I was given a commission to lieutenant. And it only took about 5 minutes. All I had to do was sign some documents and swear my allegiance to the country. So I never went to the officers training program or the basic school where you learn to be, all of the things you need to be an officer. Mine was a direct battlefield commission. And with that, it was an OJT, you might say. And we went in, we went right to battle. In other words, there was no timing where I could prepare for that.
Right.
But still, the responsibility was still there. And I was the first African American in the Marine Corps. African Americans were not allowed to be Marines until 1942.
And wow. Okay. And how did your involvement in the Marines? How was it received? Were the other guys okay with everything?
They had to be. They had to be. Because once an order is given, it must be obeyed, no matter what your race or where you're from.
Sure.
When I gave an order, I expected it to be obeyed.
And was it?
Yes. I never had an order that was disobeyed, because if you're good at your job, people will tend to follow you. I had 10 years in the Marine Corps, and I had learned all of the basic skills. In order to be a commando in my era, you had to be you could jump master or a dive master. And as an African American's perception was that I wouldn't be able to swim. Well, I could swim. All you needed was an opportunity. But when I grew up, I didn't have swimming pools in my neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And so, therefore, you didn't really learn. And that goes with a lot of black neighborhoods where they're not swimming pools. So these kids don't learn to swim. But once they're put in an environment and they're challenged, they can do as well as anybody else.
Sure. Where did you grow up?
In Baltimore.
Oh, okay. So the documentary, when does it air?
The documentary, we're not sure yet. And Ashley is our producer, and she's working on it, but I don't know that I can tell you a specific date as of yet.
Okay.
You're in Washington, D.C. today for the Marine Corps birthday gala and also the Veterans Day celebrations?
Yes, I am, ma'am. I'll be there for that. And that's one reason we're here. We're here for the gala. They'll be having tomorrow night, which is sponsored by the Sabo and Brothers in Arms.
When your team was named, do you know where did you name the team? Team Broad-Minded?
No, Team Broad-Minded, no, it was just something that collectively that came up. I'm not sure who come up with that name, but it sort of stuck.
And
there's no particular reason, but it tells the story of a group of young men that were extraordinary.
And you also had operations in Africa and Eastern Europe.
Yeah. But all those operations, they're not anything that we would want to discuss.
Oh, okay. I guess Robin went into someplace we shouldn't go. So tell me about the Ask a Marine recruitment program that you're part of.
Right. About 1968, I left to go to Vietnam in 66 and was there 66 and 67. And I spent a year in Bethesda Hospital recovering from wounds. And then I was sent to Marine Barracks Fort Meade, and the Secretary of the Navy wondered why we had so few African-American officers in the Marine Corps and the Navy. So he wanted the Marine Corps to do a recruiting poster and some Navy officers also to see if they could entice more young men and women to join the naval forces. And I was the one that was chosen to do the Marine Corps poster. And we shot about 600 posters. And they selected 3. And one was called Ask a Marine. And the other was called, let me see if I can remember the title of it. It escapes me now, but, they're still online somewhere. And it really wasn't about me. It was about those young men who served with me and helped me out.
Sure.
And
I think you represent the spirit of what they're trying to accomplish, though. And clearly, your background and everything you've ever done is that of a person who is willing to go the distance in order to accomplish whatever is at hand. Do you? Oh gosh, I can't. Oh, do you as a veteran? Do you have any feelings about the president that's currently in office? Does that affect you at all? What are your thoughts on?
No, not really, and I always get in trouble.
Yeah, I know
to that, and I have to be non-political.
Yeah, I understand. I think the reason I brought it up is because we heard so much before the election from Hollywood people, but we didn't hear a whole lot from veterans. And I was told that it wasn't that the veterans weren't speaking; it's that the news media weren't covering the stories. So if somebody like yourself, for example, made a speech at the local VA or at the local American Legion, it didn't make the news. It may be local news, but not national news.
Well, my take is that I shed blood for this country. I've served on battlefields around the world in different continents. I've earned the right to vote, not vote, and speak out if I think the president or whomever makes a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't bother me, so I am not afraid. I've earned the right to say I think Congress or the Senate or the president is not doing something right.
Right.
Just it would take a while to pare that all down, to tell you what I think.
Just a great answer. You couldn't have a better answer than that. Yeah.
But just to get into a political discussion, no, I don't have time for that. And whoever's the president, I go. I became a Marine when General Eisenhower was president.
Wow.
And I fought in battlefields when President Kennedy was in office, and when Johnson was in office, and when Nixon was in office. I fought in battlefields when they were there. They said go, and I went. I didn't ask what political party they were in. And that's the way Marines are.
Yeah.
When the flag goes up, we go.
And you truly are an inspiration to others, sir, because of your demeanor, because of your beliefs, and because of your passion for our country.
Well, I appreciate that. For a long time, I didn't hear those kind of words. I didn't hear those kind of words. When I came home, certainly being an African-American, people didn't know that I was an officer. I'd earned the right to become an officer. I worked awful hard and survived many battles and lost my entire family. I have no biological family.
Oh.
I lost my son. I lost my wife. And it's one of those things that I still had to soldier on, and I still do what I can for my country. It's always country. It's always country.
Wow.
And being in America, freedom is not free. Somebody has to pay for it.
Freedom is not free, and it's men like yourself who paid the price. Well, thank you for taking the time to be with us. I know you have a TV show you have to do probably in 2 minutes or so. We don't know where to watch the documentary. We'll try to do our homework and figure out where. I know you can get the book on Amazon.
We have a website for the documentary.
Oh, what is it?
It's capersthedoc.com. CAPERS, the DOC.com.
Okay, capersthedoc.com, Major.
Yes.
Major James Capers Jr., we salute you and thank you and embrace you and wish you well. Thank you so much for your contribution and for taking time to spend with us this morning.
It's been an honor, and you warm my heart. You bring me to tears because it makes me remember some times that was not always so pleasant.
Yeah.
But days like today, it warms my heart. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm glad we could just make a tiny little contribution compared to your amazing contribution. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Attention WOCA listeners. Do you or someone you know have an outgoing personality with great organizational skills? Well, WOCA is looking for a few good people to join our marketing reps team. You get to meet other great people and business leaders in our community. WOCA Radio offers flexible schedules, great income potential, and some really great fringe benefits too. So if you enjoy talking to people and getting paid to do it, this may be the right choice for you. Apply within or send your resumes to careers@WOCA.com.
Whether you're just starting out in your career or ready to make a change, being a commercial pilot is within your reach. The FAA has predicted that in the next few years, the number of planes in the sky will double, and that means a lot more jobs in aviation. Ocala Aviation has teamed up with an accredited university, enabling you to get a college degree in aviation while training to